Just a few more additions to the situation in the DRC, but more focused on humanitarian human rights. Our humanitarian colleagues tell us that humanitarian organizations in Goma continue to assess the impact of the crisis, including the widespread looting of warehouses we've been talking about, and the offices of aid organizations as well. The World Health Organization and its partners conducted an assessment with the government that's between the 26th and yesterday, and report that 700 people have been killed and 2,800 people injured that are receiving treatment in health facilities. These numbers are expected to rise as more information becomes available. Also today, OCHA and their humanitarian partners visited a number of sites for internally displaced people in the areas of Bulengo and Lushagala, which are the outskirts of Goma. They found that water and healthcare services are still operational, but conditions remain dire. In Goma itself, access to safe drinking water remains cut off, forcing people to use untreated water from Lake Kivu with all the risk that entails. Without urgent action, OCHA cautions that the risk of waterborne disease outbreaks will just continue to increase. For its part, the International Organization for Migration says today that several displacement sites, including on the outskirts of Goma, where over 300,000 people have been displaced, have been partially or completely emptied. The displaced men, women, and children urgently need shelter, they need food, they need clean water and medical assistance, and various protection services. Essential items like blanket, mats, and cooking utensils are also in critical demand. Last night, Bruno Lemarquis, our humanitarian and resident coordinator for the DRC, issued a statement in which he said Goma is now facing the devastating consequences of the hostilities, with massive humanitarian needs and severely strained response capacities. As you recall, and as Jean-Pierre said, the airport remains closed as almost all of the roads except through Rwanda. He called on all parties to protect civilians and ensure access to goods and services that are essential for the survival of civilians. And on the human rights and another bleak picture, our colleagues at the Office for the High Commissioner for Human Rights say that since the start of the current crisis, they have documented summary executions by the M23 group in areas under the control of the armed group in South Kivu, such as Minova. M23 has occupied schools and hospitals. It has forced displaced people out of camps, as and subjected the civilian population to forced conscription and forced labor. Volker Turk, our High Commissioner, said he's particularly concerned that this latest escalation of violence could increase the risk of conflict-related sexual violence. As of today, the High Commissioner's office has documented cases of conflict-related sexual violence by the Congolese army and allied fighters, and they're verifying additional reports of rape also by Congolese troops. Just an update on the humanitarian situation in Gaza. The World Health Organization